Hi, Lions. Thanks for joining me for another lesson. We are going to learn some new sight syllables, and then we'll do some practice with them, reading them in multi-syllabic words, and then also spelling them in multi-syllabic words. Okay, let's get started. The first sight syllable I want to introduce you to is ak. Together, ak. Your turn. Good. This is like in the words occupy or octagon. When you occupy something, like if the bathroom is occupied, that means someone is using it. Octagon, of course, is a shape with 8 sides. So this says ock. And we'll continue practicing this, spelling and reading it so we become automatic. Let's go ahead and read, spell, read. Read, ock. Let's spell it. O-C. Read it, ock. And we're going to start adding in the read, spell, read routine. That way, it's going to help you to remember. It's going to help you to store it in your brain, and then it'll help you to be able to pull that information back out when you're trying to spell a word. Okay, the next sight syllable I want to introduce you to is crim. Together, crim. And this means accuse. So like in the word criminal, a criminal is someone who's been accused of a crime. So crim, let's read it, crim. Together, crim. Your turn. Now let's read, spell, read. Crim, C-R-I-M, crim. And this means accuse. Excuse me. The second sight syllable I want to introduce you to is like at the end of nature, signature. So this says chur. Together, chur. Your turn. Good. Now let's read, spell, read. So I need to hear you reading it with me. Then I need to hear you spelling it with me and read it again. Read, chur. Let's spell it. T-U-R-E. Chur. Good job. And it's at the end of words like nature, signature, texture, mixture, all kinds of words end in chur. Okay, this is a sight syllable that we learned yesterday. And remember, there's 2 ways that you can say this. Like at the end of mission, so this is shin, or jen, like television, jen. So first sound, shin. Let's read it together. Shin. Your turn. Second sound is like at the end of television or vision, zhen. Let's read it together. Zhen. Your turn. Good. So there's 2 sounds. So if you're not sure, try both and see which one sounds right. Okay, circ. Let's read it together. Circ. Your turn. Remember, this means ring, like a circle. Quad. Let's read it together. Quad. Your turn. Remember, this means 4, like a quadrilateral is a shape with 4 sides. Hood. Together, hood. Your turn. Good job, Lions. We are sticking together today. Photo. Together, photo. Your turn. And this means light. Pass. Together, pass. Your turn. Good job. Die. Together, die. Your turn. Good. Like in the word dissect. Dinosaur. Pro. Together, pro. Your turn. Like in the word program. Full. Together, full. Your turn. This is a suffix you can add to the end of a base word that means full of. So like wonderful, full of wonder. And this is one of our final stable syllables because it's a consonant LE. This says bull. Together, bull. Your turn. Good. Like at the end of table. Goal. Together, goal. Your turn. This also is one of our final stable syllables. You see this at the end of a word. You'll often see LE with a consonant before it, consonant LE. That's why it's a final stable syllable. Pick, together, pick. Your turn. Good. Auto, together, auto. Your turn. Remember, this means self. So it, like an autobiography, is a story you write about yourself. Per, together, per. Your turn. Good. Like person. Enter, together, enter. Your turn. Remember, this means between. Call, together, call. Your turn. Like college. Non, together, non. Your turn. And this is a prefix, which is something you add to the beginning of a base word, and it means not. By, together, by. Your turn. And by means two, like a bicycle has two wheels. Graph, together, graph. Your turn. Good job. And this means writing. Pre, together, pre. Your turn. Good. Remember, this means before. Like if you preheat the oven, you turn it on before so it warms up. Nis, together, nis. Your turn. Good. Port, together, port. Your turn. And this means carry. All right, let's practice some new words and what we would do if we came to a word and we had no idea what it was. And we're talking about really tricky words, like a picture's not going to be able to help you. You need to use what you know about the 6 syllable types and dividing words up into syllables to read this. So we know the first thing we would have to do is identify the vowels, okay? And so we see a vowel here. Now we know whenever we see an E at the end of a word that it's the silent E syllable. So this is a helping vowel. So this word has 2 syllables. We know that because every syllable has a vowel in it. And since we have 2 separate vowels, we know this is a 2-syllable word. Now, when I see T-U-R-E, that is one of the syllables that we learned today. And we know this set is like at the end of nature. This says chur. So we're going to go ahead and divide this right here because this is a sight syllable. We practice these sight syllables because these are syllables you're going to see a lot in words. So we want to be able to read this automatically. And that's why we're going to practice it every day until we are automatic with it. So this says chur. So we already know how to read the second syllable. It's chur because it is the sight syllable, one of them that we learned today. So now all we have to do is figure out the first one. Now I see vowel consonant. So when you have a consonant after a vowel, that means it's a closed syllable because the door is being closed to the vowel by the consonant. So it's a short E sound. But I also recognize this because it's like in the state Texas. So it's text, like in the word text. So do you see how much you can use what you know about other words to help you to read this as well? Now, if I didn't know those words, then I would look and see, well, this is a closed syllable, so it's a short E. And I know short E says like edge, the edge of a table. So text, and we know this is chur, texture, texture. So texture is the way something feels, like the texture of sand on a beach. It feels grainy. Sometimes it can be really smooth as well. So texture. So you see how we can use what we know about sight syllables and the 6 syllable types and rules for dividing words up into syllables to decode an unknown word. All right, let's do another one. Let's take a look at this word. So this is a new word. I'm not sure what it is. So we know the first step to dividing word up into syllables to be able to read it is to identify the vowels. So we have a vowel here and a vowel here. So Lions, how many syllables does this word have? Yes, it has 2 syllables because every syllable has a vowel. So let's look here. We know the first thing to do is find the first vowel and see where the consonants or how many consonants there are. So vowel, consonant, vowel. So there's one consonant. We know usually you divide before the consonant. Now, if that doesn't work, then we divide after. But we try before first. So I see H, U, and so there's nothing then, when I look at this syllable, there is absolutely nothing blocking in that U. So that means it is an open syllable. So take a minute and think. When we have an open syllable, remember the door's open for the vowel to go running out of the house screaming its name. So it makes a long vowel sound. So we're going to code this with a long U. Here we have vowel, consonant. And so there's a consonant blocking the way for this vowel. So it can't make a long sound. This is a closed syllable. Remember, closed syllables make a short vowel sound. So this will say I. Plus, I just know this is mid because I've seen it in many words like middle. So mid. So long U. Hue, because we know U, long U says U like the unicorn. Hue, mid. Humid. Humid. So if something's humid, a lot of people say it's very hot and humid. That's like on those 100-degree days where you walk outside and you feel like you can't even breathe. That is humid. Okay. Now what we're going to do is spelling. So if you do not have paper and pencil, go ahead and pause the device so you can get your supplies. And for everyone else, we will go ahead and get started. Okay. So the first word we are going to spell is picture. Remember, when we are spelling a multi-syllabic word that we don't know, we break the word up into individual syllables. Every time your chin drops, that's a syllable. So picture. So we have 2 syllables. Pick. So I'm going to spell the syllable pick, not the word pick. Pick. Kind of like picnic. Pick. Okay. Now, picture. Chur. Does that sound familiar? Chur. That is one of the sight syllables we learned today. Chur. So after pick, this is the chur. This is how you spell it. So let's go ahead and spell it with T-U-R-E. Let's take a look at our word. Picture. So pick and then chur, which is the second syllable. Okay, let's spell the word mixture. Mixture. So first syllable, mix. Mix. So mix. I hear a short I. I know it's a closed syllable. And I know X makes the X sound. So mix. Mixture. I hear chur again, like at the end of picture. So we are going to spell our new sight syllable again at the end of mixture. Mixture. So T-U-R-E. Let's take a look. Mixture. So mixture looks like a pretty tough word, but when you break it up into each individual syllable, mix was easy to spell, and then we know chur is spelled with T-U-R-E. Good job. Okay, let's spell the word airport. Ready? Airport. So air. I hear the acorn sound. And we know there are 3 ways to make the long A sound. I will tell you in air, it is spelled with the AI spelling. So air, so AI, air, I hear So here's how you spell air. And then we're spelling airport, airport. The second syllable is port, which is another one of our sight syllables. Port, because remember, port means carry. So let's go ahead and add port to the end of air. P-O-R-T, airport. Airport. Okay, we are going to stop there because we are running out of time. I just want to remind you of a few things that we learned today. Let me just grab our cards. So the first thing is the sight syllable. We learned chur. Read it with me, chur. And you're going to see this at the end of words. That's why we have this line here. Another sight syllable we learned today was oc, like octagon, and crim. Let's read this together, crim. And this means accuse. So when you see a word that has crim in it, then it means accuse. So not only will this help you to be able to read the word, it can help you to understand what the word means as well. And when you come across a word you don't know, use what you know about breaking the word up into syllables, and then figure out which each syllable is, what type of syllable, and then you'll be able to decode it. All right, guys, we will continue tomorrow. Please join me. I'm so proud of you. You're doing such a great job, and you guys are going to become amazing spellers if you stick with this, because we are going to learn and practice many sight syllables and what we know about the syllables types to help us. All right, have a great day. Bye, Lion.